they enter this chamber and they find three humans, two men and a woman. And the woman is played by, she is a very well-blessed French model who I have to admit is incredibly pretty, and I'm very glad they didn't have her wear any clothes in the movie.
Welcome back to the Black and White Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Valiant. Thank you for clicking on the video today. I am joined by my friend from college, second one. First one was Skylar, and now it is my friend Jack. He is a professional actor and a really funny guy, and I really like talking with him. So here he is. Say hello.
Hey guys, I'm Jack.
We go to class together. We go to OCCC for the film production thing, and he just came over and we're just talking. I'm nothing in particular today, but we'll see where the conversation takes us. We're talking about Godzilla, though.
Yes, honestly, it's just kind of been a movie night of discussions and whatnot. I have not seen the recent Godzilla -1 that has come out. But as you mentioned before we started, it's got a lot of reviews, a lot of really good reviews. In fact, I heard it's one of like the best grossing Japanese films in some market. Yeah, in a minute. I won't give a time frame because I'm gonna be wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I didn't watch Shin Godzilla.
Shin
Godzilla was the
Which
one
one's
that
that?
came out before the current one.
The Japanese one?
Yes, that's where he's like fleshy and he like transforms 3 times. But yeah, so with Shin Godzilla, like I get they were trying to, I think like message wise, his design I guess works. It was supposed to be a modern incarnation of how Godzilla represented like nuclear destruction.
Oh. It's kind of like what the American version, right? How he can like become a nuke.
Yeah.
Like a solar bomb or something like that.
Dude, I don't even want to talk about the American version. I don't think Americans should make Godzilla movies. I don't think they can.
I think they should stick to Pacific Rim. I like Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim was awesome.
Pacific Rim was fire.
That was all. Yeah, I
The
love
new
Pacific
Godzilla
Rim.
one though, it was Godzilla versus Kong. That one was the last one I watched, and I thought the people part of that movie was so bad. The fight was okay, like the Godzilla versus Kong fight I thought was fine. I think Hong Kong cannot come back from that. There was just they treated that place like a literal stomping ground, and it was horrible.
That is the second time Hong Kong has been destroyed by Godzilla, by the way.
That makes sense. It's like New York for
Yeah, straight up, dude. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I guess I should get out of the way what I thought about like Godzilla versus Kong. So I do agree. I like the monster stuff. That was pretty cool.
People stuff, man, was so bad.
I just didn't care about it.
When they broke into that facility,
Uh-huh.
you know what I'm talking about? To Mecha Godzilla facility.
And
That was so bad. All of that was horrible.
I thought it was cool how they cut open the skull thingy. What was the lizards from Skull Island?
Oh, that.
Yeah,
That was
whenever
kind of interesting.
That was cool how it cut it. I thought that was really
That
awesome.
world was interesting. How like it was like opposite. Like when they were flying, it was kind of like on the ceiling. I think. It
I-
looked like it from the camera.
You know what? Okay, that kind of reminds me. What I thought was funny was like while I was watching it, I was like, "This is ridiculous. What?"
Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going.
And I was like, "This is ridiculous. What? He blew a hole down to the middle of the earth."
and he happened to be just standing perfectly over him.
Of course.
Like what?
Yeah, and I just thought it was like ridiculous, and they're like flying in like oh no, dude! What really got me was how they're like, there's like what, like gravity tunnels at the poles, and
And they
like,
have like futuristic weapons now and ships. That was weird.
see that I could ignore because that's already Godzilla.
It was like Star Wars level.
That's what. Yeah. Well, see, this perfectly leads into what I was gonna say next. So I said all this like this is ridiculous. What?
Yes.
God, this is dumb. Blah blah blah. No. And then I thought about. And then I was like, well, let's compare this to the older Godzilla movies, like Showa and Heisei era and all that. Well, really all of them. And I realized, no, they're all freaking ridiculous.
Yeah,
You gotta
absolutely.
understand. Like, I'm trying to remember like a really good example of just a ridiculous.
They create a lot of memes, a lot of funny
They do.
memes,
They
especially
do.
like the ones where there was a guy in an outfit. Back then.
I love those. I grew up on those movies.
Really?
Oh my gosh, it's not all of the movies, but it's like a whole box set of like Godzilla Showa era. Some of the best that came out, and they have one of the worst movies in there, but whatever. Yeah. So, oh my gosh, I think it's the movie where he's with Jet Jaguar who's just a big old. He's like a robot. I haven't seen this one, but point is, he grabs his tail and he starts blowing out his atomic breath and allows him to fly into the air.
That's interesting.
It's stupid looking. Oh my gosh! And then there's one where like one monster is holding another monster with its arms, like
Hmm.
it's like a wrestling match, and Godzilla does a running kick, except it's clear they just had the suit like
Oh yeah,
sideways
I've seen that
and
meme. It's just floating.
hmm
That yeah, that's one of the memes I was thinking of when I said that.
yeah, exactly.
One of the Godzilla movie I watched for the first time was I wasn't allowed. Actually, my parents were
hmm
gone, and my auntie was watching me. She was babysitting me.
hmm
Auntie Esther, love that lady. And we stayed up. It was the first time I stayed up all night.
Oh yeah.
And we were in the living room in my old house. We were chilling, and she let me pick out whatever movies I wanted, and we were watching them together.
hmm
And then I went to my dad's room to pick out the spicy movies,
Of
the
course,
good
of
movies.
course.
And I went to his closet and I started looking at his little shelf, his little private shelf. And I'm like, I want to watch this one. It's Godzilla. And it was okay. Here, let me test your Godzilla knowledge because I don't remember. I'm pretty sure the movie is literally just called Godzilla. The marketing for it was very green. You remember that one?
Very green. Was it the 1998 American Godzilla movie?
Probably. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one where they're in New York
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
looks like a T-Rex. Yeah,
Yeah. I'm pretty sure
yeah.
it was that one. Like they barely. It's where they tried not to show him for a lot of the time. Pretty sure Godzilla.
Oh heck, well that could have been Godzilla 1998 or Godzilla
Okay. Well.
2015.
Well, it was probably the old one because it was old.
Yeah.
Does she like lay eggs at the end of the movie? Okay,
Yes.
it's that one.
Yeah.
But I remember watching. I don't remember anything from the movie, but it did scare
You're
me.
not missing out on nothing.
But I remember watching that movie with her, thinking it was cool. And then she fell asleep, and then right when the movie was over, I looked over to the window in our living room, and I saw the sunrise. I was like, "Oh my
yeah.
god!" It was like the first time I stayed up all night. So that's my memory with Godzilla.
Oh man, dude.
But yeah, I really don't care for it that much. I did like Pacific Rim, like I said, just mainly because those robots were sick. That's American Mecha.
Oh yeah,
That's
dude.
American Mecha.
It was a fun. Yeah, I agree 100%. That Pacific Rim was amazing. Now a sequel?
The second one.
No, I don't even want to talk about the sequel. I was just like, oh, this is dumb.
It was sad.
Um,
First one was good.
Yeah. Which honestly, keeping with Godzilla, the first Godzilla, 1954, is still to this day the best Godzilla movie in my opinion. Um, I mean, though it does, I'd say like
The black and white one?
yes, Gojira.
You
It's his original name.
You think that's the best?
Yes, I think it is the best. Um, though I will say like right after the first one, like Godzilla versus oh god, it's in the Heisei era. It's like the second movie in the Heisei era after Godzilla 1985. No, it might be the third one. Um, oh my gosh, I'm gonna kick myself for forgetting this monster. It's like one of the coolest monsters in all the movies. Well, whatever. Point is, the Heisei era, that's Godzilla in like uh late 80s, so after 1985, like early 90s. That was the
Mm-hmm.
Heisei era, and for one thing, best Godzilla design, hands down. Um, and the monsters were great. The movie I'm talking about had all this stuff about like it's like a 1950s movie where it's like, oh, the Glogonars are causing the DNA to warp and
They're just
to
saying words to make
schlucknack.
it work.
Yeah, and then he's like, now my daughter is a giant, like 100-meter tall rose monster that is big enough to swallow Godzilla whole.
It's like it has like a sailor outfit with the skirt on.
Yeah, and it's like, oh my god. Yeah, no, a lot of tentacles though.
Okay. Okay.
It's Japanese.
Okay. What do you think about like? Why do you want to watch Minus One then? Have you?
Oh yeah, we kind of got off track. Yeah, no,
you
I
have
haven't
watched or you haven't?
haven't seen minus
Well,
one.
that might be your new favorite.
Exactly. It could be. That's true.
Because people say the people part is the best part. I mean, Godzilla. I've heard a lot of people compliment Godzilla, but for a lot of people say like the people part is also really amazing, like the story.
Yeah. Kind of what people never talk about with Godzilla movies.
So it's kind of surprising, right? Which
Yes,
is why
it
I
is
feel like
very
it surprised so many people because I've really only heard good things about that movie, and I don't even care about Godzilla, and I'm not even in the Godzilla or MonsterVerse sphere of things. So for me to like that leak into my
Mm-hmm.
like sphere of entertainment and media
Yeah.
showed me like, wow, these people really care about this movie.
Oh yeah, it's a testament to its
I see
quality.
one clip. It was like a um what do the Japanese people scream when they like kill themselves, like bonsai with the planes?
Oh, it's Kamikaze. Divined Wind,
I think they scream bonsai though.
probably.
It's
Yeah,
called the
well
kamikaze, but they scream
they say
bonsai, right? It
bonsai.
was like that where he was a guy on a plane. Spoilers, I guess. Got on a plane at some point hits.
Oh,
Yeah, Godzilla. It's like, oh dang.
I'm not surprised.
You know,
Um,
spoilers for Avengers Endgame. Captain America throws his shield.
oh my God,
I'm sorry, I had to do it to you.
I'm gone. I'm out of here. Spoiled the movie. Yeah, no. I will say that is actually very interesting. If the people where the people part was the best part of a Godzilla movie, because I will say, Godzilla movies are they I feel like they're kind of okay. I guess this is more like Showa, but I'm not gonna get off track. We're gonna keep talking about minus one. I guess just historically, I've always been like, ew, the people part of the movie, because the people part in the movie is always just the same thing. We need
Yeah.
to stop Godzilla. Godzilla killed my favorite person ever, or something like, oh, they,
Superman killed my random white guy that I liked.
yeah, man, and or like, or it would be like the scientist who's like, "Have we gone too far with science?" And then,
Evolution, like Jurassic World.
yeah, and then I'm sitting there like drool falling from my mouth because I'm like clocked out, and then I see Godzilla and I'm like, "Boy, back in the movie." All my favorite
Yay,
parts
explosions!
all of my favorite parts of Godzilla
Be
movies
wizard.
have been the beginning where the military shoots at Godzilla and nothing happens and it's awesome because there's explosions and the suit guy's like raw and like has pyrotechnics on him. And then my second favorite parts are obviously the monster fights because I mean like that's what we come to these movies for. And then you muddy it down with some stupid drama of a guy a
A
dad who
daughter and a daughter trying to rebond after their mother died.
Yes, exactly. And then like in all this cheesy dialogue that's been dubbed over with like the cheapest voice actors they could get. It's like it's so funny because like Godzilla 1985 was really big when it came out. In fact, that was one of the few Godzilla movies they showed in America. You don't know, most Godzilla movies
Godzilla.
weren't even showed in America. Only like the original.
A lot of people I feel like don't know about them. People who know about them are the people who really like Godzilla and pursue to find them.
Yeah, exactly. Because
Like casual kaiju fans are gonna know that. Kaiju
yeah.
movie fans. You know, one thing I really don't like in movies, like a little nitpick of mine. It's not. I don't like count it when I'm like thinking of the movie as a whole. It's not like points deducted from it in my enjoyment, but it's just something I'm always like, ugh, because it happens so much.
Hmm.
Is is like needless death.
Oh yeah.
And the Godzilla movies or kaiju movies are the only ones where I'm like I can ignore that because it's just like it comes with it. Like people, the
Yeah.
dude's gonna be like eating Sonic in his 7-story block apartment, and he'll just eating Sonic burgers, and then Godzilla's tail just kind of whoosh, and he's dead like that. And
Yeah.
it's like I get over that, but there's movies like the trope of a bad guy sneaking into some place,
Hmm.
or a bad guy like being caught by some random civilian while he's doing something evil.
Yeah.
And then he has to kill them because they're a witness. Could be like a random security guard in a mall who just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
And then now those like guys like kill that guy, like Kingpin, but
Oh yeah.
kill that guy. Uh,
Dude, I know what you're talking about. There was I didn't watch it, but oh my gosh, this sounds so bad. What I watched a Cinema Sins video about it
yeah,
back when I did.
I watched Cinema Sims.
I haven't watched him in years.
I watch him on movies I've watched. I'll occasionally when I'm like there's nothing else. He's kind of like my nothing else to watch. I'll turn on some Cinema Sins. No offense, Cinema Sins, if you ever watch this.
Well, but point is, he was talking about it was like a Disney movie that came out, I think like mid 2010s, probably like 2014.
Like a Disney Channel
or
movie or a Disney movie?
I think it was a Disney movie, not a Disney Channel movie. It was the one where like they find where that I don't know if it was a guy or a girl, but they find like a ring that lets them go to like the future world or something. It was some
Tomorrowland?
Yeah, it was Tomorrowland.
That movie was such a letdown, bro.
Do you remember the part where the guys are like cuffing the future guys like, man, he like vaporizes the cops and there's
Probably.
well, point is, dude, oh my gosh, I hate it. There's this one cop who's like, oh my gosh, everyone else has been vaporized. He starts running away and the guy's like, yeah, and vaporizes. And I was like, that felt so mean.
Like, for what?
Just let him run. Like,
in my favorite Marvel movie, Captain America: Winter Soldier, when the really amazing choreography fight scene between Cap and Bucky, Winter Soldier, for the first time in the street, after he's trying to, I think, attack Nick Fury or right after Nick Fury. I don't know, but when they're fighting in the street, they have that amazing hand-to-hand combat with the knife. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking about?
Yeah.
Well, before that, when he shoots like Nick Fury's car to make it flip,
Yeah.
and those police cars just come around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they had to add it in the movie. Police cars just come around the corner and he blows them up immediately with this grenade launcher, and then he just flip, and then he just keeps going, keeps walking. I'm like, what was the point of that? I just feel bad
Because it was
a,
cool.
That was a dude who had 3 kids and a wife who just picked up donuts from down the street. He got a call about some guy in the street. He just turned the corner and dead.
Yeah.
I'm just like, those are the things I just don't like, or like random security guards or bodyguards who just like get picked off like Batman style, like whoosh, and then like just their body flops. I just needless death.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, the last thing I'll talk about before we, I guess, get back on topic. In the movie
No. Tangents is good, but
Yeah,
trust
okay.
me. You don't have to worry about the topic.
In the movie Super 8, which I don't like Super 8, because it's
I
basic.
have not seen that.
Man.
Fantastic Seven, I've seen it.
Well,
Magnificent Seven.
very different.
Yeah.
Different.
They have numbers.
Super 8, I'll just dumb down the plot to alien lands on Earth. Everyone's scared of alien. Turns out alien just wants to go home, and the military is bad for wanting to catch it. But the movie ignores the fact that I'm pretty sure the alien eats like 2 innocent people they pulled off the street.
Oh.
Because the kids, the main characters are kids, and they're like, "Ooh, hey, we found the alien home, awesome!" And then they find like a woman in there and like a cop, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you got to get us out of here!" And like, "Oh, we'll get you." And then you see the alien's hand like grab them and drag them off into the darkness, and I'm like, "Well, they're dead."
Mm-hmm.
I even sat down and watched the rest of the movie, and
They never address it.
never saw them again. But whenever that alien took off, they were like, "Bye, alien. You are such a benevolent being." No, there's 2 humans that are now dead and gone, not telling how many other alien or other humans got killed on the way. And then the military's the bad guy for trying to catch the alien. It just wants to go home. Well, I'm sure a criminal who likes to eat people and murder them wants to go home too. Doesn't mean he should be allowed to.
We briefly talked about Earth to Echo because it's on my movie shelf.
Mm-hmm.
But Earth to Echo is like a modern version of E.T. where it's like an alien crash lands here, kids find it, and the kids try to stop the evil corporation or government from getting the alien so they can get the alien to leave the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they kind of solved that issue for something I was worried about is because it was written to the plot where near the end of the movie, spoilers for Earth to Echo.
I've seen it.
Yeah. But basically they get the alien and they find out the alien ship is this enormous ship that is underneath this built neighborhood.
Yeah.
So they're like, whoa, whoa. We've done all this to save this alien and to get him home so he doesn't have to get killed. But now we're stuck with this mental problem or this moral problem of, do we let this alien leave and destroy a whole neighborhood of sleeping people,
Mm-hmm.
probably killing hundreds of people, or we turn this thing in and it has to get tortured and killed? Like, and they're kind of arguing like, okay, but then the one that's like the abandoned foster child is like, I don't care, I'm the rebel, and he goes down and starts like trying to fix it or give the alien to his ship. But right when you're like, oh crap, what's gonna happen? A bunch of just pieces of like gears and cogs and pipes that start shooting out the ground.
Yeah.
And you realize, like Transformer style, that the pieces kind of just break apart underground and then just shoot up in like little individual pieces and then rebuild the ship in the sky so the ship doesn't actually like come out and kill everyone.
And they hint they kind of hint at, not hint, I guess that's just that they show that capability with the alien when he does that to the semi truck.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine if he disassembled the truck driver too and put them back together? That'd be
That
freaky.
movie was that scene was kind of cool as a kid. That was pretty cool. But my point of saying that is that if they actually the shit just shot out of the ground and just destroyed it,
Mm-hmm.
and they never tried to like point out the fact that did probably kill a bunch of people.
Oh yeah.
That would have really hurt the movie for me. I would have been like, well, I mean, those kids basically just helped that alien murder hundreds of people.
Yeah. I think a lot of movies that are about like lost aliens trying to go home really do forget a lot of like, because they're like, well, he's an alien, he's got to get home, and then
Humans are evil.
yeah, and then you see like the aliens are like, check it out, I made like a mega death weapon, but I'm gonna leave it behind.
And you know an alien movie where the aliens are really actually like decently better than humans?
Who? What?
Freaking, let me think of the name. The
I don't know.
Clowns from Outer Space.
In Killer Clowns from Outer Space,
Yeah.
they were not better than humans. Quite the opposite.
They were pretty good people.
I'd hang out with them for a weekend.
But that would be terrifying. That'd actually be worse than like zombies. And zombies to me are terrifying. The zombie apocalypse to me is absolutely terrifying because not of like the society ending and not because of zombies themselves, unless they're like World War Z zombies, then that would actually be horrible.
Yeah, no, that'd be done for.
Say if it was Walking Dead zombies. For me, it's the fact that like no more toilet paper,
Interesting.
no more lotion, no more hot water, no more showers, no more shampoo.
So more the scenario scares you,
Yeah,
rather
like
than
just
the zombie.
every like convenience is gone. But like that those are just surface level. They're annoying, but they're not a bother.
Yeah.
Glasses for me. Prescription.
Oh,
Once my
shoot.
eyes get worse, I'm cuffed. I'm cooked.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No more glasses after a certain age because my eyes will get worse. No more medicine. No more allergy medicine for me. I have really bad allergies. If I'm out and in the middle of the woods, I have to camp out and it rains, I'm cooked. But I mean, it's like the convenience. No more bathrooms. Like, it's like, bro, I just snap my own neck at that point. But I definitely have fun for a little bit first.
Oh, yeah. I'd say. Hmm, I wouldn't mind. I mean, I should specify. I am in no way prepared for the end of the world.
Yeah.
World ends. I'm one of the people who are dying. But
I last a week. I feel like I like to say
oh
that.
yeah, man, I could probably scrounge off. I bet I'd give myself. I think I could make it like the first year. But I think by the end of that year, I'd be like, oh.
I have a baseball bat. I'll be fine.
Okay, that's good. That's good. But dude, for me, like with zombies, I would just hate to be like ripped apart and
Yeah.
chewed on and eaten alive. That's what gets
The
me.
death is like so painful and slow.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, like you can take care of a
That's
zombie.
why you gotta
They're not-
save that last bullet.
for
I'm
yourself.
serious.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
so serious. I would actually do that. I would save one bullet. If I ever ran out of ammo and I had one bullet left, I would just keep it for the last case scenario so I don't get ripped apart.
Hmm.
But have you seen the Book of Eli?
I've not seen the book, but I want to.
The Book of Eli is a movie with Denzel Washington as the main character.
Yeah, man.
You could call it a Christian movie. It's kind of like a Christian, an edgy Christian movie. It's kind of funny.
It has religious themes
Yeah.
in it.
Basically, it's a man in the apocalypse. The basically in this situation, we don't know exactly how the world came to an end. It's kind of one of those situations where they don't tell you. They leave it to the imagination, which I don't always like. But it's pretty hinted at that a nuclear holocaust happened, and with all the nukes, either the nukes caused the like ozone layer in the atmosphere to basically thin, so the sun now is way stronger, and also either the sun blinded so many people or the nukes blinded people because when you look at a nuke, it blinds you. So there's like half the there's like no people, like 99% of the population is dead, but the people who are alive, half of them are blind because they either looked at the sun or they looked at the nuke. So we don't really know. But the whole movie is his journey across the war, like destroyed America, because he has this package that he's carrying. And you find out, spoilers for the Book of Eli, it's not too bad of a spoiler. You find out that he's actually carrying the last copy of the Bible, and God's kind of like helping him and assisting him in getting this book to sanctuary so it could be copied and reproduced so it could continue being used.
Right, right.
And in this movie, I won't say the big twist. I mean, it's a really old movie. I probably could, right? Or do you want to watch it, right? So
I do want to watch it. I'd
So-
prefer not to hear the twist.
Yeah, I won't tell the twist. But basically, there's this big twist, and I think it was a really good movie. The second twist is really dumb and kind of
Oh shit, there's
hurts
a second twist?
yeah. There's a second twist, and it actually like makes a lot of plot holes. But it's like I feel like that twist was added last second to be cool, but it failed.
That's possible.
It definitely feels like a last minute thing because it just like, well, that doesn't make sense because then this would not make sense. But it's a good movie, and I forgot why I brought it up. Oh, the apocalypse.
Yes. Oh yeah.
That was just one of the movies I watched recently where the apocalypse was portrayed in like, I feel like a realistic way.
Oh
Like I
man.
could just completely imagine that would
I got a movie for you.
be what happened.
Uh huh.
and I usually don't like apocalypse movies. I really don't like end of the world movies, like natural disaster end of the world
Oh
movies.
yeah.
As a kid, especially because they destroy me.
Well, yeah, because they're
Tsunamis are
scary.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Tsunamis, I think, are the worst one because I can't imagine just being at the beach or being somewhere where you can see the ocean and then just the impending doom of just seeing the the wall of water um, coming at you and you just can't do anything.
Oh yeah, I get you with that one, man. Yeah. That was just kind of stressed me out as a kid. As an adult, I haven't actually watched many. I see the last apocalyptic air quotes movie I watched. Um, oh, I
Quiet
guess
Place?
two. Actually, there's two. So there's two apocalypse movies I've watched. So it's called Threads. It's made its run around on the internet. I don't know if it's like super duper. If you
I've never heard of it.
so Threads is set in well when it was filmed. So
Britain,
yeah, Britain
the water bottle people.
show. It's basically you see half of the movie is leading up to the nuclear war. The
Uh-huh.
last half of the movie is after the nuclear war, and I think like the last part is I should specify the whole movie's just depressing. Like you
Hmm.
don't go into it like I'm gonna be in a good mood. No, it's
Yeah,
not even a fun movie. You're just like, oh my gosh, this is horrible.
yeah,
Which the point of the movie was to be like, hey guys, let's not nuke
yeah. Let's
yourselves.
not do that.
Let's not do this because it's gonna suck. So like the beginning part,
Grave of
dude,
the Fireflies. Bro.
it it was so like, oh my gosh, like I could just like I had to pause the movie on like the build up part because it was
Don't you
so
think that okay?
stressful.
Don't you think that that makes a show good? Because I feel
Hmm.
like for me, when I really enjoy a show or a show has me hooked or I care about the show and the characters and the plot, I know I care because I keep pausing it to
Hmm.
react or pausing it to let it process and then
Yeah.
continue. That's how I know I'm into a show.
Oh yeah,
And I'll
dude.
pick that up later. But go ahead.
Yeah, so but for me, dude, it was just like I was getting so stressed out because it was so realistic too.
Wait,
Um,
whoa, wait.
so like, well, because it follows this small cast. It really focuses around this one woman who like she had just gotten pregnant on accident with her boyfriend and they were gonna get married and then a freaking next thing you know the government's like everyone stay inside start stocking food there might be a nuclear war and it's just horrible because like it starts out with a lot of people like it's like that's just a bunch of humbug like we're not gonna get nuked and then like the families watching their neighbors move out and oh my gosh this scene really got me this kid so the main lady her family are like hey oi bruv where's you lot going and it's their neighbors and they're like we're going out to the country and dude this kid's like hold on we can't leave I gotta find my dog and the dad's like no we're going now like this dude is so afraid of nuclear war he's just like fuck leave the dog
Yeah,
and
understandable reaction.
yeah but they find the dog and I was like whew. but but then like as it keeps going like people start like just taking everything they can off the shelves
Like real
and
life.
yeah like well it's realistic
Yeah.
and then finally dude the first nuke explodes it's like a little further off and it's just in the sky and you literally see everyone just like stop pause look at it one lady you they didn't need to do this, but it just added to the realism. When you watch her wet herself, like it streamed down, and then just it's like the glass breaks, etc. And everyone's like, "Oh my god!" Like everyone who didn't die, it was
They
like,
go
"Oh my
blind.
gosh." The people who looked at it, yes.
Yeah, that's if you don't know, if you were in the nuclear holocaust and you see a nuke go off, don't look.
You know, I think if you see it go off, it's a little late. You're
Well, I
just
mean,
like,
but like if you
"Huh?"
if you see it in the like distance,
Yeah,
you can have a reaction of like,
I guess you're right.
but like most people aren't gonna because they're just gonna be like, like
Yeah,
either I won't blame you if you look.
yeah. I mean, 'cause let's be honest, probably the last thing you're gonna see. Um,
You could be far away enough,
that's true. Yeah.
and you could be far away enough not to immediately die too. You could be far away enough to die from the radiation. You could be far away enough to just like die slowly, or you could be far away enough to just see it.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, point is, movie after the nukes drop, you see this woman just absolutely suffer through like the apocalypse. Like she has to give birth all by herself and raise this baby all by herself, and you watch
Babies are.
bit by bit the government break down as because the whole thing why it's called Threads is it's supposed to show how interconnected our society is that
Mhm.
as soon as like As
One
soon as, yeah,
breaks
you take one Jenga block out, like the whole tower starts to sway, and then with like more added pressure, just
like a rope with threads, and the threads break.
yeah, exactly. And
Like Looney Tunes.
yeah, and it's just like, and dude, it just, oh my gosh, it ends on just such a sad, sour note.
Like the mist level sad.
Yes.
Dang.
Actually, yeah, I would say that. Less suicide, more
Suicide.
just like,
Suicide.
what?
That was murder.
Well, to themselves.
But he killed him.
Oh yeah, I guess he did.
It was
You're
kind of like
right.
what's the word when consensual murder.
Oh yeah, I guess.
It's funny.
Um, yeah. Point is, that's Threads was a very good like apocalypse movie.
See Bird Box, and that was like a trend. You ever
I
watch that?
haven't. No, I didn't watch Bird Box.
Bird
I'm not
Box
a
is
horror guy,
interesting.
really.
It's not horror.
What?
It's not horror. It's a thriller.
Uh,
It's apocalypse thriller. Basically, there's. I mean,
it's an apocalypse thriller.
yeah.
Okay, I should specify. I know one thing about Bird Box, and that's like you're not supposed to look at it or something.
So Bird Box is normal society. It's a lot like the start of the apocalypse in the Quiet Place, where it's like
Everyone's chill,
drying.
and
Yeah, it
then
was
stuff
just a
starts
normal
happening.
day, no warning, and then it just everything goes to crap.
Hmm.
Basically, there's these monsters that float in the sky. We don't ever see them throughout the movie.
Oh,
Um,
do we know what they look like?
there's a dude who draws them at some point because
Mm.
basically the deal is if you look at them, your mind will go crazy
Hmm.
and you'll kill yourself because you just don't want to live anymore because your mind is so messed up. Like
Right.
apparently, and the way I understand it, I think when I was watching it was when people look at it, it would make their mind go into such crazy anguish. It would just destroy their mind so much that the only thing they could do was kill themselves to end it.
Right.
And so people would see it, go crazy, and immediately try to off themselves in whatever way they could. Um, and so that's where the whole term like you can't look at it. Some people, very rare people, would look at it and then kind of not go crazy. They just or not go crazy and kill themselves. They just go crazy.
Oh.
And it was kind of hinted at that the people who would see it and go crazy were people who had mental problems. People who were already kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So when they look at it, they would kind of just like worship it and become like a cult following. What they would do, which is kind of what would kind of make it a horror, which they would be their minions, and so the monsters couldn't really interact with you. They would kind of just somewhat be in the sky
Hmm.
and then just follow you and try to get you to look at them in any way they can, but they could never actually like touch you.
How do they get you to look at them?
Well, that's where I'm going. The people who would go crazy and not kill themselves, they would be like the pawns of the monsters, and the monsters would send them to get you to look. So they'd like it'd be like five of them hold you down, grab you, open your eyes, and make you look at it.
Yeah.
And then you'd either kill yourself or join them. So it's like this whole a lot of the tension is like no one knows what's happening, what they are, what they look like, why is this happening. It's kind of a little. I feel like it was inspired by Junji Ito. I feel like I hope I'm saying that right.
It's
a
Junji
Junji Ito. Okay.
Yeah.
It's you know him?
Yeah, I know
Okay.
Junji Ito.
For viewers, it's a Japanese manga horror author, and I feel like this show kind of similarly relates to his kind of thing. You know,
Yeah. You know what I think about it? That is kind of a Junji Ito concept.
Yeah.
Like, there's just a whole like area you can't look at, and there's people who are
probably not as good as anything he's made, but it was.
Yeah, it ain't gonna be
very-
spirals, man.
It was still very interesting. Like it grabbed hold of the internet for a good like week.
Oh, I remember when it came out.
God.
Everyone was talking about it, and it was like the Bird Box
It
challenge.
got a sequel, but
I know
I
that.
didn't like that movie good enough to go back, and I think that's what a lot of people thought. And I have heard zero things from the sequel. I'm pretty sure it got a sequel.
didn't even know. it happened.
Exactly. Like
So, yeah.
the ending was nice though. It actually had a happy ending.
Whoa.
Yeah. Basically, they. Do you care?
No, I'm not
Okay.
gonna watch Bird Box.
Spoilers for Bird Box. At the end, they find this like sanctuary in the woods, and it's full of blind people. It was like a nursing home for like blind people,
Oh yeah.
and it was like, hi, and they're like, and so because some people were like blind and just weren't ever affected by it because they're blind,
Yeah.
and some people just stabbed their eyes out so they wouldn't have to like worry about it.
I guess that works. Yeah.
You know? But yeah, the dude who draws at one point, one of the crazy people, like tries to like sketches them, and basically they kind of just look like amalgamations of like different monsters. Like one looks like the like a what's the scary Kraken looking dude? You know what I'm talking about?
Cthulhu?
Cthulhu. One of them looks like Cthulhu, but like one of them just reminded me a lot of Cthulhu. So
Okay.
something like that. And they're just like concepts of monsters. Like imagine like the psychologist holds
Oh
that
yeah.
plaque up to you and says, "What do you see?" It's kind of remind me of that, but like obviously just a little bit more monstery.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But they still never ever show you. Maybe they showed you the second one, but I have no idea.
Oh, well.
Yeah, but a lot of apocalypse talk.
Yeah. That other movie I mentioned, I should specify, the other movie wasn't really apocalypse. It just had like very apocalyptic imagery. Life Force. I think this one came out in 1985. I'm recurring. Man, that's the second time I mentioned 1985 today. Funny enough, Godzilla 1985.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of movies from the 80s. That's kind of my. I
You're
love
an
that.
old soul.
I am an old soul. I love old movies.
You like old cowboy movies?
How old?
Just any ones before 2000.
Oh, before 2000? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I do. Like the Dollar trilogy with Clint Eastwood. The spaghetti westerns are great. Um, I don't watch a bunch, but like
It only takes one bullet.
I
Rango.
oh yeah, Rango was hilarious. I
Yeah.
loved Rango. Yeah, I killed them all with one bullet. All eight Jenkins brothers. He's like, but yeah.
I just love that quote.
And
It
then
only takes one bullet.
Tombstone. Tombstone was good. And that's like everyone I've met who's really into cowboys loves Tombstone. Like I knew a guy who had like I think he had like Daisy If You Do or whatever they say in that movie he had it tattooed somewhere on him. In fact, there's a place in my hometown that's named after a quote from that movie.
You know what memory you just unlocked?
What? Watching Tombstone?
Now, Cowboys versus Aliens. I totally forgot that movie existed until just now.
I
Have you ever watched that?
I've never watched it because why would I watch cowboys fighting aliens?
It was Cowboys versus Aliens. It was basically like the alien invasion, but if it happened in the western area of time. And it was just very interesting. I want to rewatch that movie now. Thank you.
Okay,
I don't
well,
remember it that well, but I remember actually liking it. I'm pretty sure. But back to the apocalypse movies. There's
Yes.
actually a movie happening right now. It's not. It's a kind of like apocalypse.
it's
horror movie.
real life.
It's a very scarily realistic trailer. It's called Civil War, and it's based off of.
Oh, by A24. I got an
Yeah.
ad for that.
Yeah.
The Americans have. Oh my gosh.
I just don't understand because it's Texas and California working together to rebel against America.
This is already written by people who have no idea of the political climate of America.
Well, some of it's very like, wow, that's realistic looking.
Well, was it Florida also? Because they said like the Florida Alliance and blah blah
I
blah.
think they're just their own thing. I think
Okay.
it's just America splits off and America, but for some reason they specify Texas and California working together. I could be wrong. Pretty sure that's what they say because I remember other people commenting on that too. And I
Sounds
was
like a
out
government
of
conspiracy.
all of them, like those two,
Yeah.
like they're literally the opposites when it comes to political views.
Yeah, straight up.
That's like saying like North Korea and South Korea working together.
I know. Well, I mean, whoop-de-doo, finally, a unified Korea.
Have you seen? Oh, I'm trying not to go on a tangent, but have you seen like Kim Jong Un crying? Did you see that
No,
clip?
I've not seen him cry.
Basically, their population is drastically shrinking, and they're not having kids
Yeah.
for some. I can't remember for some reason. And there's a
God
clip-
knows what's happening in North Korea.
Yeah, but it's him at a stage, like podium, like political podium, and he's like this huge crowd, and it's all women from his country,
Oh no.
and he's like basically asking them to have kids, more kids,
Mm-hmm.
and he's crying while doing it, and all these women are like old, like 30s or not 30s, like 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, old women. This is like the women of the North Korea, like the general women. So it's like they're not making kids, and all the women he could get there to have kids are all old because they're not making kids. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah. Oh, I swear. Oh, what a place to be.
I never want to be there, bro. Yeah,
Oh,
Civil
man.
War.
Oh yeah. So like with the Civil War, yeah, yeah, that I will say that is a concept because especially with what's been going on recently, I'd say we have been I was like as a country, it's only been like I guess like in me and yours lifetime, so like the last like 2 decades or so. This is like the most we have ever talked about another American Civil War And I don't want to get into it because I don't want to talk about politics. I want to talk
Yeah, I don't want to
movies.
talk about politics.
But like first, I guess I find it a little scary when even Hollywood, which Hollywood's always behind on stuff, you know, like
Yeah.
it's usually a couple
This
years.
is pretty quick.
Yeah, exactly. Like, which I guess the whole American Civil War has been discussed about a year, actually ever since 2020. Um, but like, still, it's a little scary for even like the movie studios to start acknowledging that everyone in America is kind of stressed about
A
a.
lot of divide.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of us are a little worried about a civil war. And then finally we're getting a movie about it and that almost like validates it. Like, yeah,
I think
man.
it makes it more fiction. I think it makes it like less plausible in my mind. It's like because I'm seeing it in fiction. You know what I mean?
I get what you
Just a
mean.
little bit though, like very. But shoot, the most unrealistic thing about that trailer. Most unrealistic thing.
I skipped like within 10 seconds of it.
Well,
But
the most unrealistic thing about that trailer is that they drive around half the movie in an excursion, a Ford Excursion, with the gas prices of
uh-huh.
the Civil War America. There's no way that you driving that gas guzzler everywhere. My family used to have an excursion, and that's why
Oh
they
yeah.
got rid of it. Is because of how much gas that thing needed.
Dude, they should just replace it with a Hummer. Like 1 mile to a gallon. It's just like, all right, we made it 2 feet. We need to stop for gas again.
uh, I saw a really funny video of like a Jeep commercial. If it was like honest,
Mm-hmm.
and at the end it was a really funny joke. It was like, well, you may not like us, but if it weren't for us, you wouldn't be saying no. You'd be saying nine, because they made like military
Yeah,
Jeeps, guys.
that's funny.
Yeah, I just thought it was really funny.
Um, oh man, yeah. But I guess getting back on topic of movies and whatnot. Crap. Oh yeah, I guess I didn't get to finish the thought about the that other movie I was telling you about, Life Force.
Oh, I thought you did. My
Uh,
bad.
nah.
Go ahead.
So Life Force
Well,
follow.
anyway, no, I'm joking.
I
I'm
can't
sorry.
say
Go
anything.
ahead.
So, in Life Force, basically, there's this joint British and American mission to go to Halley's Comet. They find a spaceship in the tail of Halley's Comet, and when they go in there, there's all these like dead, or they're desiccated specifically, which means they're not like.
Just dead or murdered. Everything like ripped apart.
No, desiccated is when you're like dead and not even your bacteria is like eating you. It's almost like you
Frozen time.
expired. Yeah, you're and because they're in space, so
Yeah.
like everything's dead up there. So there's all these bodies, and they're like, what the heck is
Alien
going
bodies,
on?
right?
Yeah, well
Okay.
they're like bat things, and then they enter this chamber and they find three humans in like stasis pods. Two men and a woman, and the woman is played by I'm forgetting her
Julia
name.
Roberts.
No. But she is, let's just say, she is a very well blessed French model
Ah.
who I have to admit is incredibly pretty, and I'm very glad they didn't have her wear any clothes in the movie. Oh, yeah, all the characters are nude. Not the spacemen, they need the suits. But basically, they take the people back to Earth and they find out they're vampires. And what they
Ah.
do is they suck the life out of you, suck your soul out,
Mm-hmm.
and then it leaves you alive. Except in 3 hours, you now need to go suck someone's soul out, or you dry up and
Oh,
die.
so it's STD.
I guess a little bit. Soul transmitted disease or whatever. Um, but yeah, and point is, dude, like the whole movie, they're basically the lady has escaped, and they don't know where the two other vampires are, but they don't even care. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. They basically don't care about the other two vampires, like the two dudes, because I mean, let's be honest, the lead actress doesn't have a schlong, so they're of course gonna follow her. But there's a point in the movie where they're like, man, just glad we got all the victims of this lady all like confined and whatnot. That way, there's not like a runaway zombie
Yeah.
apocalypse basically. And dude, they're like trying to drive back to London, and the military has it surrounded, and they're like, "What's going on?" And they're just like, whole movie, damn it. The military is like, whole city is being beset upon by a disease or whatever, and they're like, oh my gosh, we let one victim get through. And dude, oh my gosh, you are watching, there's these giant orbs flying around London just sucking the souls out of people. Everyone on the streets are either a soul sucking zombie or a person freaking out. Buildings are exploding, buses are exploding. It is a hellish apocalyptic little
That's a
thing.
nitpick I have with apocalypse movies.
What?
Is sometimes I feel like they go too far into like showing the like destruction of the surroundings.
Oh, dude, I love the destruction of the
So, but
surroundings.
sometimes it's just it my suspension of disbelief just gets stretched too much where it pulls me out of it, and I have to point it out in my brain, like and sometimes verbally. Like The Last of Us, the game. That's a very popular game. Everyone
Yeah,
loves the game.
I had a buddy who played a lot of it.
I remember when I was playing it, and I got to the like this part where you're in like a really big downtown city with skyscrapers.
Hmm.
There was like two skyscrapers who were that were like one was like completely fell over and was leaning on another.
Oh
And then the
yeah.
other one was like completely falling over. And I was like, okay, maybe like, this could be erosion. Like I don't know what kind of erosion would do this quick, but if this is like this is supposed to be the apocalypse did this, how would the
Oh,
apocalypse result into a skyscraper
I get what
falling?
you
I
mean.
would
Yeah.
need to know how that happened because that is such a like a skyscraper, like people running around and being afraid. I get a car crashing into the building. I get a plane maybe crashing into the building, like like a certain event. But like the whole thing falling over and not only falling over, leaning on another. It's just there's stuff like that, and then movie scenes where you see like a Resident or Final Destination esque like domino effect happen where like
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, I agree. I do agree. Like stuff like that is pretty ridiculous. Because if it's like you said, like in a zombie apocalypse, buildings aren't going to be exploding. They're just
yeah
going to sit there. Like windows will be broken out and
yeah
whatnot.
windows
But
will be broken out for sure. Fires will be started. A
yeah,
fire could lit up start in a building and the building could fall because of the fire.
yeah, but it's going to
But
fall down, not
yeah,
like sideways.
and lean on another skyscraper.
Yeah, especially with that much weight coming in.
Yeah,
Whatever.
the building like would like crumble. Like if anything, the building that's not even the building that's standing up still,
Yeah, it
the
would like
building that's
crumble into
leaning
the
would like
street.
break because it's not built to be sideways.
Yeah, they're in fact they're built to fall down because so
Exactly.
that it doesn't smash a whole block.
Exactly.
Um. Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
even in the exact same game, the highway is like the ground has literally. I think the game when they're doing this, I think their thing is erosion. I think it's supposed to be we're supposed to be seeing erosion and like the human society is like falling and collapsing. I think
Hmm.
it's erosion,
Hmm.
but to me, it's like what it's been like 50 years since the apocalypse. 50 years of erosion isn't gonna make a skyscraper fall over. That thing
Yeah.
is like planted, like like nothing else. Um, but anything to add? I'm gonna change the
Um.
subject if not.
I guess there used to be the show on I think History Channel, and it was like 1,000 buildings after man, buildings 1,000 years after man, something like that. Point is, it basically was like, okay, if humans just disappeared, no nukes, no
Oh
war, blah blah
yeah,
blah.
AI version of that's pretty cool.
Oh, I haven't seen that. But it basically just showed like it would pick a particular monument. Like they had one episode about some not Fort Knox, like a different crazy ass bank. And it talked about how like eventually water would get in and flood the vaults. You'd see how
It's like
like
such a prime YouTube content thing, bro.
it is. Oh my gosh, dude! And it like me, an aesthetic I love is overgrown buildings,
I
and not
get
like
that.
ancient ones. Like I love modern overgrown buildings. I love plants, and having plants encroach on like urban areas, it scratches an
Living with
itch.
nature.
Yeah, it scratches a little itch.
I get it.
The aesthetic itch. But yeah, anyways, I just thought that I would mention that show because I liked it as a kid. I was like, whoa! 1 million years after humans are gone, it's like there's nothing.
Well, I've seen a lot of this TikTok trend that was like for like usually I saw it for Rainbow Six Siege maps and other like video game or media stuff
Hmm.
where they would take a picture of it and then tell the AI to make it like what would this look like if it was untouched for like 10 years. And
Ooh.
then it basically just shows like the weeds breaking through the concrete, something falls over. It's just like what you're talking about, the aesthetic of nature slowly taking over. Then like
Hmm.
50 years goes more, 100 years, 1,000 years, and it's like barely anything left because all of it's fallen over. And it's like
Yeah.
that's really cool, and the music goes with it.
I've always wanted to see a video game, a post-apocalyptic post
Post-apocalyptic video game.
post-apocalyptic video game
Hmm.
where they don't tell you it's a post-apocalypse and it's set so far after the apocalypse there's only hints.
So you just think it's the world of the game, but then you find out later that this actually is
I
the
think
world we live in if this happened.
yeah.
Pretty sure it's been done before.
Oh, 100%. It's
Yeah.
probably been done on some game, but I like to imagine like it would be something more like environmental. Like it would never just in your face like you're in a skyscraper that's fallen. Instead, you'd like come across this valley and then there'd just be these rocks that make this square and then like little bits of iron and you're like, well, that's weird. And you ignore it because it's like this small detail, but then it's like
Little things just keep adding up.
yeah, you start like people will have you'll see like people with armor and you're like, man, it's kind of weird that a lot of people wear this like octagonal like chest piece.
It's a
And then
stop sign.
yeah, it's like it's well not even a stop sign. It's that like when the apocalypse did happen, people started wearing signs as armor and then it became a cultural thing to design your armor to look like a sign.
That's cool.
Like that would be some cool like environmental storytelling.
Get to work on that. Write that down. Write that down.
Yeah.
Anime.
Oh man, I think
We
I
could
think
call
it's
it
cool.
New World Order. Oh wait, no, that's really generic.
Yeah, in fact, there's too many New World Orders.
Yeah.
I'd just call it something like
Fashion of the reincarnated in a new world with new fashion. I don't know. Reincarnated into the apocalypse.
the New Old World.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I want, because I'm probably gonna make it like the thumbnail.
Mhm.
I want to talk about Vinland Saga.
Vinland Saga.
Okay.
All right.
I won't spoil it because I know a lot of people still want to watch the show, and I know you want to watch the show.
Yes.
I finished it last night, so it's fresh in my brain. Vinland Saga now is my top 3 anime of all time. First is still Violet Evergarden, but I think it's just as good objectively. So it's pretty much tied, but just personally, I like Violet Evergarden for like personal things and how it affected me, and like just my personal relationship with that show.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be very hard, mountainous task for anything to ever top that, which is exciting when I watch stuff for the first time, because like one day I might like something more.
Oh
But-
yeah.
But this show was absolutely amazing. Big surprise. Like, oh my god, Vinland Saga was good.
Yeah, crazy.
No
You
way.
want to talk about it? Is it
Yeah.
good? No, it's horrible. Don't watch it.
Dude, that hot take would get me murdered, bro. The only thing, like, the show is so good, and a lot of shows that I enjoyed that are just, to me, peak, I don't ever want to talk about it with the fans of the internet, because, like, Ancient Magus Bride, I really love that anime. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Okay, well, I won't explain it, but it's a basically like fantasy magical anime about also like learning about self-love with the main character. And it's just like I really like shows where there's like a mental journey of redemption or self-discovery or self-loathing turning into becoming one with yourself. All
That's
that.
why I loved Berserk, dude.
Yeah,
It was all
Berserk
about
is-
struggle and
exactly,
whatnot.
exactly, and that's what Vinland Saga's main thing is. But Ancient Magus Bride also has a character going through that, and the fandom. It's more of a what's the word for manga more tailored towards females? Shoujo, yeah.
I don't know.
Shoujo. It's more shoujo, but I don't think it's shoujo. I know it's like people say it's shoujo, but I disagree. But it is.
Really, all that matters is if you liked it.
Yeah. But I just know that's a lot of reasons some guys won't watch it. But it is such a well animated, well made show, but the fandom is so horny. And it's like, bro, I just never want to interact with you people online. It is so stupid. It's like, how is that what you're thinking about when you're watching this amazing show? And then with Vinland Saga, it's like, it's like a Red Dead Redemption Berserk-esque like level of a character being redeemed and trying to better himself and become a better human, and like this amazingly long written, well interconnected with other characters just as good as the main character, drawn out in this beautiful tapestry that is Vinland Saga. And so you finally get to the end, and you're at the point now where the anime is ended, and you've made this journey with Thorfinn throughout the whole thing. You're at the end. You've seen what he's gone through. You've connected with the story. You're connected with the people he's been with. You open up TikTok. You look up a Vinland Saga edit. You're like, oh, this is sick. You look at the comments. 90% of the comments are like, bro, he was so much better at the beginning of the series. Like, oh my god, did you miss everything? He's better when he was like horrible. Like I don't want to describe him because I don't want to be too.
Well, I know it's about Vikings, so
Yeah, okay.
he's probably doing everything a Viking did.
Yeah. This show is dark, man. This show doesn't hold back. But like I was like, dude, how are so many people saying that he was better when he was worse? Like you just completely missed the point of the show. Like
Ah.
it just makes me sad. It's like, bro, I mean, I get some people are saying it ironically. I
Mhm.
do know that, okay? I know that some people are saying it ironically because it's funny. Um, but some people aren't. And it's like, Jesus, man. And it's not even like the comment itself. It's the fact that I see the comment. Now I see it has like 13 likes or 13,000 likes. I'm like,
Oh
what?
yeah.
Like 13,000 people agree with this dude?
It's dude. Yeah. No. It's ridiculous. Cause like there, I saw this growing up. Is like kids it's kind of weird in our society. We almost encourage people to be bad, like not horrible, but we're like, hey, it's good to be mean because then you get your way because the world's mean,
Yeah, I get
or
what you mean.
it's
Especially in the workforce, you gotta take what's yours. You gotta work for
yeah.
it.
But some people forget that doesn't mean be like a jerk all the time. It
Yeah,
just means like sometimes you gotta
you
like
gotta step on other people to climb your way up to the top.
yeah, really. It's just, I mean, I don't know, there's probably some industries that are just like that.
Yeah, there's. I
um
mean, film industry.
yeah, maybe,
I
I
mean,
don't know.
there is truth to what people say when they say that. It's just sometimes that's a statement you just can't take at face value. You can't just like
Yes.
say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that." No, you have to elaborate what that really means or what that person trying to convey. Like,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, I don't mean go back to your job at J.C. Penney's and then start cussing out everyone and beat your manager until he gives you a raise.
Yeah.
Obviously, it doesn't mean that. It means like you just can't let people walk over you. You can't let
Mm-hmm.
people use you. You have to know your value. You have to know why you're there and blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah. But Vinland Saga was is such a such a well made show. It's just the author dude. It's just one of the most impressive things of media I've seen in so long. Because I'm
Mm.
just like, how does this man who wrote this come up with this? Because it's also been one of the most unpredictable shows I've watched in years. I I cannot stress this enough. I will never hyperbolize this. I'm being so real. I am so I feel like I'm really good at predicting shows and movies because I've just watched so much. I
Yeah.
mean, I just can recognize the patterns. Not even like the writing, just like the beats of a story. Like you just at some point you start figuring out like, oh, this is gonna
Uh-huh.
happen. Oh, they're giving this character too much screen time. He's gonna die. Oh, this guy's being emphasized. Why are we seeing this guy so much? You just start figuring things out.
Yeah.
With this show, there was so many times where I'm like, bro, no way this is gonna happen, and then the opposite happens. Or I'm like, okay, this is gonna happen, then the opposite happens. It's just so many like, what's the term for reverting your expectations?
Subverting
Yeah,
expectations.
subverting expectations. There's so much of that in this show, and I know I'm beating a dead horse by praising this show, but it deserves every bit of it. It was amazing to me though. Watching Violet Evergarden and that being my favorite, and the reason I like it so much, I think it's Violet Evergarden,
Mm-hmm.
but if you put it into Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Ooh.
put Arnold Schwarzenegger to a Viking, hit him with steroids, put a cowboy hat on him, hit him with another piece of steroids, gave him a gun, gave him a sword, gave him a Viking axe, and then just told him to yell at the top of his lungs. He's like, oh, testosterone. So it's like Violet Evergarden, but like for a man.
Oh.
Um,
Hmm.
for like quote air quotes, a man.
Dude. Heck yeah.
But yeah, if you haven't watched it, if you're thinking about watching it, go watch it. I mean, watch it when you want to because it's been a show that I've been recommended like a million times, but I only watched it when I felt like, hey, I'm actually in the mood to watch something that serious and deep, and I enjoyed it 10 times more because of that. But we are about out of time. Do you want to say anything else?
Ah, heck. I guess I'll give one last movie recommendation, but I'm not gonna explain it and whatnot because we don't have a lot of time. If you like Vinland Saga, watch The Northman. It is a
Yeah,
modern art piece. I'm serious.
I do. Do you watch? I need to watch that.
I'm serious. Can't recommend The Northman enough.
Yes, I will. I will watch that. Thank you guys for so much for clicking on the video. If you made it all the way to the end, I love you so much. If you want to see Jack again, just comment down below. I really like talking with him. But thank you guys again, and have a good rest of your day. Bye bye. Love you. Okay.
Bada bing. Is it
Bada
still?
bing,
I
bada
think
boom.
it's still
Yeah, I'll
recording.
just cut it out.
No.